enjoy the
Kathy.
day. Thank you so much.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for welcoming me to today's Shell Powering Progress Together. Actually, I was really very pleasantly surprised that I was invited to moderate one of the panels here. One of the topics that is actually very close to my heart, being a technology show host, is how we can use renewable energy to address many of the current problems that the Philippines and many other countries are facing nowadays. But before we get to the nitty-gritty of renewable energy, sometimes I'm wondering whether when we're talking about the climate change agreements that were reached in Paris, so we're talking about 1.5 C, 2 C, we're talking about degrees. In the Philippines, it used to be said that there are only 8 degrees of separation. I mean, you meet a taxi cab driver and you're somehow related to him. Oh, uncle pala kita. 8 degrees of separation now becomes just 1.5 or 2 degrees of separation, separating us, the planet, from what people see could be potentially doomsday for all of us if we don't stop global warming. A lot of people out there are still denying that global warming is happening. So there are deniers, no doubt about that. But then again, when you talk about carbon, how can you deny that carbon doesn't exist? It's even in our political system. In fact, one candidate is said to be smeared with carbon, which is so bad. I did not say who, but please just imagine it in your mind. Well, today we're going to be talking about innovation and how innovation becomes a key factor in creating the solutions as well as, of course, the opportunities to address many of the pressing concerns that are weighing down on the global environment. And we'll be talking to some of the innovators who've actually come up with really brilliant ideas on how to cut down the carbon footprint. Now, a lot of you know about the statistics that cities, many of the urban areas, contribute to 75% of the global emissions that are actually blanketing this planet. If you don't believe that, go back to previous reports and look at Beijing. Now, Beijing, of course, as you could remember, was the most visible example of how much carbon is being poured into the environment. Now, today we're going to be talking about how innovation can create the solutions to those kinds of problems. We have on our panel 2 distinguished gentlemen who will be sharing their experiences on how they've combined innovative technology with sustainable business models. And I think that's the crux of the matter there. You may have a brilliant technological innovation, but you don't know how to market it, or you can't convince the public why they should buy it. So we'll be listening to the experiences of 2 of our panelists today on how they've actually marketed their technological innovation. Now, we'd like to invite our first speaker on stage. He will be sharing with us his experience in developing renewable energy systems for both rural and developed communities. And renewable energy systems are so in demand because we are trying to find a way to reduce our carbon footprint.